Hi everyone. This video walks through completing lab assignment 1.2.4.5 Network Representation, which is a part of the Routing and Switching Introduction to Networks Cisco Networking Academy curriculum. So for this lab assignment, you should have downloaded two files, the Packet Tracer Network Representation PDF file, which contains the instructions and some blanks for you to fill in, as well as the 1.2.4.5 Packet Tracer file. So I'm going to open both on my window. And remember, you should have Packet Tracer 7.1 installed before opening up this lab. Now, each lab assignment that you get will open up in two separate windows in Packet Tracer as well, which includes the instructions here, which are the same instructions in your PDF file as well. I'm going to reference the PDF file instructions this time because I'm actually going to provide some answers in the PDF. Usually you don't have to provide any answers, it's just instructions. So this week is a little bit unique. So I'm going to have my window over here as well. So I've got my Packet Tracer file to the left and my PDF to the right. All right. Now, usually there'd be a counter in Packet Tracer as well, in that Packet Tracer instructions I showed you. But again, this one, there's not a counter to see what you did or did not do correctly because again, this lab assignment is just to really get you acclimated with using Packet Tracer and just kind of figuring out where some things are. So they're going to ask you some questions along the way. So as we go through these instructions, it gives you the objectives. Again, the network model in this activity incorporates many of the technologies you will master along your way in the CCNA. So if this seems a little overwhelming about what all this stuff is in this window, don't worry about it at this point. You will learn a lot more about it over the next 4 curriculum courses or topics with the Cisco Networking Academy curriculum. This is just the first one, and we have 11 chapters to get through in this particular curriculum. So it's represented, in a simplified version. Again, some of the shortcomings of Packet Tracer would be these are different locations. Those locations could be hundreds or thousands of miles away, connected via the internet you see here. So that's kind of like our internet cloud. It just represents a lot of different devices. Usually between the source and destination, we really don't know how many devices are there, especially if it's a large space that we usually don't handle. So here, this home office here, we have like a wireless router. We've got a modem. We've got a tablet, a home laptop, a home desktop, an inkjet printer, all connected via the same network, okay? You notice that the tablet and home laptop are connected via wireless. That's what those symbols mean. That modem there is connected to the outside internet. So this kind of box here is our house or our home office. So we've got a lot of devices connected to that. And if you have a wireless router at home, you probably have noticed not only does it provide you Wi-Fi, it also does provide you a couple of ports to be able to plug stuff into. One being your modem, maybe a printer, and maybe a physical desktop computer that doesn't have Wi-Fi. Now this central office over here to the left and even this branch office over here to the right, another shortcoming of Packet Tracer, no matter how, it is really great program for simulation, but another shortcoming is just being able to see the layout. For instance, if you look over here to the left with the central building, all of this stuff may not be in the same room. Now the home office may be, but that also doesn't have to be in the same room. That laptop could travel all around the house and the tablet because they're in Wi-Fi, so they can kind of go anywhere. Down here in the bottom left, usually all this stuff or a lot of this stuff will be in a wiring closet somewhere, probably away from the central server itself. They may not be in the same floor or the same location or room. They are in the same kind of building maybe, or the central location, but they could be, R2, D1, and D3. These are layer 3 switches here, and these 2 switches, they could be in one wiring closet totally far away from the other one on a different floor, okay? But still on the central campus. The branch, same thing. These smartphones can travel around in the guest because it's connected to Wi-Fi. These IP phones may be in two totally different offices away from each other. So it doesn't really give you the physical layout. It gives us what's called the logical topology, not the physical topology. However, it is really good for practicing our skills, honing in our skills. So as you go through this semester and future semesters and classes, you will get more in depth in the power that Packet Tracer has to replicate real world equipment. So just don't think of these as symbol. These lights actually mean something. You can actually configure these devices. You can kind of see a port list here. You can plug in cables just like you can in the real world. So all that stuff is very powerful and is replicated and emulated very nicely in Packet Tracer. So enough about that. You will get used to that part as you practice it. It'll make more sense. But as we go through this packet, this instructions here, it says the icon toolbar at the left-hand corner has various categories of networking components. You should see categories that correspond to intermediary devices, end devices, and media. That's down here in the bottom left-hand corner. As I hover my mouse, you see this one says network devices, end devices, components, connections, miscellaneous, multi-user connection. And in each one of those categories, like here, network devices, we've got switches, hubs, wireless devices, security, WAN emulation. Under end devices, we've got a couple of other ones. You can see that each one you click on, it says it at the bottom here, like a printer, excuse me, IP phone, a TV, all this stuff you can actually add up here as well. You don't have to do that for this lab. I'm just kind of showing you. And you can connect them together, and we'll see how to do that in future chapters. Okay, so looking at some of the stuff, it says there's also an end device category and two categories specific to Packet Tracer: custom made devices and multi-user connections. List the intermediary device categories. So you could see some of the actual device categories that we have here for your network devices, whether it be your switches, your hubs, wireless devices. You could list those here in this one, listing your intermediary devices. It says without entering into the internet cloud or intranet cloud up here. Let me get my mouse pointer back. I don't want to delete anything here. Okay. It says without entering into either one of those, how many icons in the topology represent endpoint devices? So we want to look up here where there's only one connection leading to them. So an actual end device, all right? That would be like your smartphones, your laptops, your PCs, your servers, your network printers, tablets, anything here kind of in that end device category. TVs, analog phones, all of these in this category, in the end device category, all of those are up for putting in that box there. Without counting the two clouds, how many icons in the topology represent intermediary devices, meaning multiple connections are leading to them? So you could count your routers and your switches and everything, your modems, so anything with multiple connections coming in and out. You notice all your end devices only have one connection leading up to them. Okay. How many end devices are not desktop computers? So you could go around and count. You've got one laptop here, a smartphone, so that's 2, a printer 3, a server is 4, another server is 5, inkjet printer is 6, a laptop is 7, and a tablet is 8. So you could put that in that box, right? So you kind of get the gist as you're going through this lab assignment. Some of these answers you may have to look into the actual Cisco Academy chapter as well. Like for instance, explaining the difference between a LAN and a WAN. A LAN is a local area network, okay? So that'd be like this small home office up here. All those devices connected under one network is called a LAN, a local area network. A WAN would be a wide area network. So that may be like a campus, a couple of different campuses together, or something that is connected via a higher up on the hierarchy scale of your intermediary devices. Okay, so really look at the differences between those. Usually routers connect different local area networks together to make a wide area network. So as you go through, fill in the answers to those questions again to the best of your ability using this particular lab assignment over here. There's nothing physical to configure here in the packet tracer file, though, for this particular uh, packet tracer assignment. The majority of what you're doing is over here filling in these blue boxes. Save it, upload it back to Moodle, and then you'll be done with 1.2.4.5 network representation. And again, it may be a little fuzzy, this packet tracer assignment, but I promise you it'll get better as we dive into more hands-on packet tracer assignments in Chapter 2.